Welcome to NC Wine Snobs as we savor the world one sip at a time.
In this episode of NC Wine Snobs on Vacation, the snobs visit Bovino's Brewery in Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania.
Bovino's is conveniently located on Main Street in downtown Stroudsburg. It is part restaurant, part brewery, part
Bar.
pretty much. They have an assortment of their own craft beers on tap.
And a pub menu from light bites to flatbreads to burgers to sandwiches.
We selected one of the Greek-inspired flatbreads to share. It was quite tasty with little bits of spinach and feta cheese, tomatoes, black olives, and red onion.
Flatbread.
It was tasty.
But of course, we're here for the beer. And the first one that we tried off of their menu was Mr. B's American Lager. My notes were I found a very bready flavor, very clean, maybe slightly sweet up front, with some really nice hop balance there on the end, kind of a medium mouthfeel.
And for myself, I saw sweetness, clean. It had some creamy mouthfeel to it and little to no bitterness. It was just a nice, smooth beer.
Next up was Bria's Nuts Nut Brown Ale. Flavors that I really pulled out of it were caramel, toast, and things like that. Kind of a little bit of sweet, a little bit of that kind of dry, malty type flavors.
And I found it to be very nutty, and it was a nice, creamy brown ale.
Yeah, yeah. So what did you have for Oktoberfest?
I found it had a little bit of a whiskey nose
Yeah.
and a nice caramel taste to it.
Yeah. It very clean and very creamy as well to go along with that caramel taste and the whiskey nose. Stout Your Day was a dry Irish stout, really heavy on the coffee and really dark chocolate flavors, like you would expect from a good Irish stout.
One thing I found interesting about this coffee stout is it was a light body. I'm kind of used to some stouts being a little bit heavy, a little more than I could ever drink a pint of, but this one had a light body. Definitely coffee flavor and a bitter finish to it. So next up, we had Butterface Milk Stout. And for me, that was sort of the cream soda of beers. It was a nice, creamy, flavored beer, like I said, a cream soda.
And one of my favorite things about this is just the full name of it. Butterface Bourbon Butterscotch Milk Stout. Definitely just an adult cream soda. Flavors of vanilla and butterscotch to it. Aromas are the same. It was fantastic. Next up, we had our first IPA for the flight, which was the Justin A. Hazy IPA. Grapefruit up front on the nose. Really a traditional juicy IPA. Not overly citrusy, but definitely juicy.
Yeah, definitely crushable, juicy IPA. And if it was bitter, I would have notes for that, and I really don't have any bitterness notes. Next up was the blood orange, and I'm always tempted to try anything that's blood orange. I love blood oranges. And I found this one to be nice orange flavor with some other citrus zest notes on the finish.
But not really hoppy like a traditional IPA would be. A little bit of bitter to it. I mean, just you could tell it was an IPA, but the orange flavor is definitely shown through. And we wrapped everything up with Lip Tickler Wild Berry Kettle Sour. It tasted as advertised. It tasted wild. It tasted berry. It tasted sour. Had some really jammy notes to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, you've got raspberry and strawberry sour notes in there, along with some wild berries and that sort of jammy flavor of jar of jam.
Kind of tied it all together really nicely. One of the other really nice things about Bovino's is that you've really got front row access to their brewing process with their fermenters and all their equipment just right there on the floor of the brewery. Makes it feel really open and like they're not trying to hide anything. It's fantastic. So If you find yourself in or near Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania, definitely recommend stopping into Bovino's for a bite to eat and something to drink. And when you stop by, tell them the Snobs sent you.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell turned on.